Good afternoon, dear students. So, we'll start the class now. Okay, slides are visible now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, in the previous class, we have discussed regarding different techniques what we have used in the construction project management. So, in that first one, we have studied, the general concept, we have studied about a Gantt chart, or even we can call it as a bar chart. In milestone, and again, you'll be having a network techniques such as CPM and PERT, that is critical path method, and PERT means program evaluation review technique. Okay, so these are the basic concepts of this critical path method as well as the PERT. And moving on to the next concept, that is main features of these techniques. So by adopting these techniques in our construction project management, how exactly it is going to be helpful, and which are the main characteristics of these techniques, we'll be studying one by one now. So by adopting these techniques, we can do the proper planning, design, as well as the site investigation. So it will be consisting of certain toolbars, such as when exactly we can start the work, and how much time we are going to consume those particular works. Each and everything we can note down in these softwares or by using these techniques, and then easily we can track the project, that where exactly we are there, right? And by using these techniques, we can adopt the scientific and mathematical instruments, I mean which which are the necessary instruments we can be used to maintain the quality control. So scientific in the sense, we need to achieve certain quality, 100% quality in the particular work. So to achieve that quality, we have to adopt certain scientific concepts, such as we need to use Indian standard code books while executing different activities. Okay, so that one we can achieve by using, I mean, this particular software is going to be suggest those Indian standard code books. And third one, training of skilled and supervisory field staff for specific jobs. So here we can provide the necessary data, like for such activities, for so many activities will be there since from starting. So for every activities which are the necessary staffs are required, so that one we are going to provide in this software, so that it is going to be tracking that particular situation of that activity in the project concept. And by using this network analysis or network techniques such as CPM and PERT and bar charts or Gantt charts, for ensuring timely execution of different elements of the construction project. So in the CPM and PERT, different time estimates will be there, such as a particular activity, it should consisting of start date as well as the end date, and total number of duration also. So that one we can mention by using a bar, right? So that bar, that length of the bar, which consisting of the total duration of that activity. So like that, we can mention so many activities with respect to their standard starting time as well as the end time. So we will come to know the total duration of that, as well as even that bar consisting of which are the resources are required. So in a single chart, we will come to know that what exactly we require to execute those activities. And use of work diaries for recording day-to-day progress as well as the output. So even we can maintain a daily progress report, that is DPR, what we can call. So that one also we can maintain by using these techniques. Okay, and like what exact work we have done today, and what about the progress as per the planning. So each and everything we can track by using this DPR, that is daily progress report. And that one we are going to compare with the planning process, that what we have done at the earlier stage. So whether we are going according to the planning concept or not, so that one we will get track, I mean that one we are going to compare with our initial planning, and then we will come to know that where exactly we are lagging, and what about the precautions we are going to take care of those activities to come within that particular schedule part. And then the use of logbooks to record the consumption and output of plant, equipment, machinery, and vehicle. So here logbooks, it's just for the purpose of which are the equipments are entered in the construction site, or how exactly we are going to use that at how much time. So each and every data we are going to maintain by using those logbooks. For every resource, a separate logbook will be there. So by using that, we'll come to know which are the materials we have used today and which equipments we have used today. So like that, for every resources, we are keeping certain records by using these logbooks. So that one, it can be adopted in these techniques. And introduction of usage rate for the purpose of debiting the project in respect of usage or higher charges of plant, equipment, and machinery. So by using these techniques, we'll come to know that whether we need to hire a particular equipment or whether we need to purchase that. So that is depends upon the total durations of that equipment usage. Okay, so how much days we are going to use that equipment, so depends upon that the total calculation can be done. I mean the different estimations will be there, so depends upon that estimations, we'll come to know whether we need to hire an equipment or whether we need to purchase that. So monthly, next one, that is cost control study to check the performance of the project as a whole. So initially we'll be planning with respect to some cost, right? And day by day passes, I mean when we started the project work, after a certain period of time, we'll be checking whether we are going to according to the cost expenditure, I mean the cost estimation what we have done in the planning stage or not. So that one we can track by using these techniques. Okay, and next, the monthly expenditure returns to check the position of expenditure with reference to the budget allotment as well as the administrative approval. So in the planning stage, they will be planning in a such a way that for whatever the money we are going to invest for the work, so that one they have divided as per the month wise. For example, a construction project will be having around 1 year of completing time, so that 1 year which are divided in 12 months. So for every month, that whatever the expenditure is required, that one it can be released by the administrative department. So here, after 1 month, we need to cross check with respect to a planning process whether our planning is working out with the execution part or not. Because for every month, you'll be keeping certain records such as what and all we have done the expenditure in this month, and that one we are going to cross check with the initial planning process. So we'll come to know that whether our planning process is going on track or not. So that one we can be achieved by using these techniques. And this techniques will be arranging the periodical audit of the expenditure that is incurred at every stage of the work, such as store, machine, labor, and supervising the staff. So here periodical audit in the sense, for every work, before starting that particular work, there will be a meeting. So in that meeting, they will be briefing out what exactly they need to do in this particular work. So after that only, the lower management people such as site supervisor or laborers are taking the inputs from the top management, and then they are going to execute that work. So that one we can maintain by using these techniques. And here you'll be having certain process, that is construction planning, and we have studied this, that construction planning and even the scheduling part. One minute. That slide has been misplaced. Okay, now we'll be studying about the different schedules, such as, I think scheduling means you'll be knowing after the planning process, this scheduling will be there. So in this scheduling part, we'll be assigning, in the planning process, initially in the planning process, we are dividing that entire project into the number of activities. So that activities details will be providing in this scheduling part, such as that activity start date as well as the end date, and that activity requirements, such as how much resources that particular activity is required. So each and everything will be giving in this scheduling part. So here different types of schedules will be there, such as construction schedule, and then material schedule, labor schedule, equipment schedule, and total expenditure schedule. So what exactly the scheduling process will be applying in these different parameters, such as construction, material, labor, equipment, expenditure, will be studying one by one now. So here in this construction planning, initially you can consider the main objective of planning is to execute the project most economically, both in terms of money as well as the time. So this process we have already studied. Since it's a general concept, before starting that scheduling part, we need to study this. So the main objective of this construction planning is to continue with the, to execute the project work with respect to economical part, with respect to cost as well as the time aspects. Okay. So the usage of scheduling, why exactly we require this? It gives the quantity of the work involved, labor, materials, and equipment for each work. So if you have adopted the scheduling process in the construction management, so it gives the exact quantity. So usually in the planning process, we'll be doing the estimation. So in the scheduling part, for every activity, what and all we require, we'll be noting down by using these techniques. Okay. So ultimately in the resource sheet, we'll be knowing that how much quantities of materials we require, and which are the equipments we require, and then what about the total consumption of the time to execute those all activities. So each and everything will be knowing by using the scheduling part. The actual progress of the work can be checked. So in the planning stage, we'll be doing the scheduling part. So that one we are going to compare at the time of execution. So after certain period of time, after starting the project work, we'll be cross-checking the original work as well as this scheduled work. So then we'll come to know that where exactly we are lagging and what are the necessary precautions to take to reach our goals, such as we need to complete the project work within work at this without any. Okay, so here in this case, the main advantages of this scheduling is the stage and most economical method can be chosen. So in the scheduling part, we'll be having alternative plans according to the situation. If any problems we are facing, we can shift that one to the next plan of equipments at the with the total duration. So at every stages, it gives a clear idea about the requirements of resources. And third one is cost control study of the project at different stages of the construction. It can be periodically on the basis of expenditure, returns, and progress of different items of work. So with respect to a cost also, we can be managed by using this scheduling part with respect to account sections. I mean, whatever the fund is releasing or whatever the money is releasing from the administrative department, and how exactly we are going to utilize that one. So everything we can be monitored by using this scheduling part. And activity is known, you'll be knowing that what exactly you want to do at the next week. So at this week only, you are preparing with those requirements such as materials, labors, machines, and whatever the necessary requirements be keeping ready 1 week before only, so that at the time of execution it should not be delayed with respect to these resources. So we can be achieved that process by using this scheduling part. And next, as the quantity of work and duration of each operation for which the plants and equipment requirements are known, the arrangement of these can be made in time and also avoid the unnecessary expenditure by keeping them idle. So in the scheduling part, every activities process will be known, such as this particular activities required what and all requirements such as resources and all. So that one we can be keeping ready at the earliest time, so that if anything delayed happens with any part of the resources which is going to affect the entire duration of the project work. So if you are referring the proper scheduling chart or scheduling part of the construction management, so easily you can track that project, and then you will be known that entire system or that particular activities requirements. Okay, and the actual progress schedule shows whether the work is slow or fast. So this scheduling part, what we are going to refer at the time of execution, by using this we'll come to know that whether we are going moderate, whether we are going fast or slow. That one we can be achieved by using this scheduling part. If the work is slow, and it is made fast by speeding of activities. For example, whatever you have planned the work in 1 month, might be it can take 1 month and then 7 days extra with that is 1 week, 1 month 1 week. So after 1 month 1 week, you will be knowing that yes, our work is slow compared to the scheduling part, and how exactly we need to recover those 7 days in upcoming activities. So each and everything will be known by providing this scheduling part. And requirement of funds during the various stages of the project can be predicted fairly and accurately. After the estimation process, we'll be knowing the total cost which is required to complete those activities. So if you are referring the scheduling part, that entire cost requirement part will be known at the earlier stage. So according to that scheduling part, it can be predicted easily, and the total time required for the completion of the project is known. So once if you are done with the different activities with respect to that duration, you'll be knowing that the total durations of the project work by using this scheduling part. we have discussed the different scheduling part. In that, first one is construction schedule. So here the construction schedule will give the rate of progress with each operation and probable date of commencement and completion of the operation. So this construction schedule, which is purely belongs to the execution of different activities, right? So in this activities, that activity start date as well as the end date will be known. Okay, and in this schedule the work is divided into many operations. For example, a particular activity will be there, that is construction of foundation. That construction of foundation will be having again different sub activities, such as excavation part, and then the reinforcements, and then formwork. After the formwork, placing of the concrete, and then curing process, right? So many sub activities will be there. So that one we can be made in this construction schedule, the main activity as well as the sub activities of that. So that one you are going to study in the work breakdown structure. Okay, we'll be studying that work breakdown structure also, like how exactly the project can be divided into the number of activities as well as the sub activities. And here the quantity of each operation and the time allowed for its completion are mentioned, and also the amount of work, rate of completing the work with making the allowance for bad weather is done. So if something bad weather may get occurs, for example, at the time of concrete placing might be rain may come, so that one we can predict and we can keep some extra durations for such activities, what we can call the buffer time. So that buffer time we can be used while completion of these works in the bad weather conditions. That one also we can be keeping record by using this construction schedule. Okay, and the actual progress of construction during the execution is marked to determine whether the construction progressing according to the original plan. Just like we are keeping the track records with the original plans, whether we are going according to the planning or whether we are too slow or whether we are too fast. Just we need to track the particular path of those activities. And before preparing the construction schedule, these following details has been collected. If you want to prepare a construction schedule, you require certain data such as various operations needed in a particular project. Such as various operations are nothing but the main activities as well as the sub activities. If you want to prepare this construction schedule, you require this data. The first one is activities as well as the sub activities, and here the quantity of various items of work involved. So in this construction schedule, how much quantities of equipments are required, that one we can be known here, and number of labors required depends upon the activities and depends upon the amount of work. The labors will be estimated, and as per that estimation the top management is going to provide the number of labors to those particular activities. So that one we can be put according to this construction schedule. Okay, and the number and type of machines and equipments needed, because here this construction schedule duration, so that is purely dependent upon the other resources part, because a certain work which is going to be complete with 10 labors in 2 days, right? So if we have increased the number of labors by 20, that one we can done in 1 day also, right? So like that, depends upon the availability of the resources, this construction schedule can be prepared. Okay, and sequence in which the various activities are to be taken in hand. Sequence are nothing but which activities has to start first and which activities has to start after that. I mean the start date as well as the end date of each and every activities can be known, and here the date of starting and finishing of each operations can also be done by using this construction schedule. So here you can see the top rows, which you can see that is W1, W2, W3, W4, W5 up to W10. So which represents what? week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay, and here whatever you can see with respect to y-axis, that is the list of activities, such as for plans and contracts you require 1 week here, right? And here that plan review and contract signing, that is the exact process what it can be done in this particular week. And then after that, the next activity will be site work and masonry. So it's like whatever the activities they have given here, so these are the main activities. So again in this, the sub activities which are going to divide, and for that also we can provide these types of bars which shows the exact what exactly which is going to be conduct in those weeks. Okay, and here you can see the next part, that is site work and masonry work. So that one we can be done in the week 2, the first few part. So in the software and all, if you just zoom this, it will be known with the exact durations part. Okay, and then for masonry work, foundations are needed. So after clear and level the land, we need to go for the foundation part, and then after the foundation, the footings as well as the wall. So you can see the sequence here. First the plan contracts and plans and contracts, and then clear and level the land, that is a sub activity of the site work as well as the masonry. And then after this clearing the site, that foundation part has to be constructed, and after the foundation, that footing and walls. Okay, so up to a half part of the week 3, this footing will be done. So after the footing, that framing will be there, right? So like that, each and every activities are divided before starting the project work, and then we are going to provide certain durations for that. So this length of the bar, what you can see here with the yellow color, it's visible, right? Can anyone say please? You're following, right? Hello? It's audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So here what you can see, the starting and end part of each activity. So this is the start date of this activity, and this is the end date of activity. Okay, so like that, this total length of the bar which defines the total duration of this activity, so how much duration it can be consumed, so that is representing with respect to week here, right? So like that, you can see the other activities also. So this is like one example for construction schedule. The number of activities are known, and depends upon that, the total durations we can be fixed. That is again depends upon the quantities of resources required. Okay, so like that, you can prepare the construction schedule, so that while executing the different civil engineering works or construction works, that progress can be easily tracked. Moving on to the next type of schedule, that is labor schedule. The main purpose of this labor schedule is to decide the number of durations of skilled and unskilled labors which are required for the execution of different types of the works on different dates. Okay, so here initially the labors which are divided into two parts, that is skilled labors and unskilled labors. So in skilled labors, basically they will be knowing some technical concepts behind those works, and unskilled labors are just like helpers. So as per those requirements and suggestions from the skilled labors, they are going to work with them. Okay, and here as per the requirement of a project, I mean as per the resources provided by the top management. Okay, so for example, a particular construction work, for a particular construction work, a top management will be assigning 50 number of labors. So as per the total availability of the labors, that duration as well as the amount of work can be calculated. Okay, for example, as I told in the earlier class, sorry, in the earlier part, a particular construction work, for example, a construction of wall, by using 10 members, it can be complete in 5 days. the same case, if the number of labors are increased by 10 to 20, that one you can get complete in 2.5 days also, right? So depends upon the total availability of the resources, the total durations will get depend. So here depends upon the availability or whatever the assigned labors from the top management. Based upon that, this schedule will get depends. Okay, and here you can see the example, that is the labor schedule, which is depict the manpower requirements of the project in a tabular form in various stages. One example you can see here, you can see the different labor classifications, that is mason, bar bender, carpenter, skilled laborers and unskilled laborers. So these labor classifications you will be studying in detail, but just to remember for the purpose of example. Okay, so here the total durations they have given, that is with respect to a month, March, April, May. Okay, so again in March they have divided in 4 weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So here, as per the labor classifications, mason are required 7 in numbers for the first week. Okay, so this 7 number, which is dependent upon that amount of work what it can be carried out in the week 1. Okay, so in this first week, that masons are required for that particular work will be 7 in numbers. Okay, and similarly for second week, might be that work can be increased from the first week to second week, so we require mason 11 in number for the second week. So like that, depends upon the estimation or depends upon the amount of work, this number of labors will get decided. Okay, and similarly for week 3, the number of masons are required 4, and for fourth week of March month it required 12 in numbers. Okay, like that, even for bar bender, even for carpenter, skilled laborers and unskilled laborers also it will get divided with respect to amount of work. Okay, like that this labor schedule will be preparing, and the same thing we can be get monitored with respect to their daily progress reports, what exactly they have done in that particular date, that one also it can be mentioned. And remaining type of schedules we'll be studying in next class. Okay, so we have studied the different labor scheduling, I mean different part of the types of the schedules, that is construction schedule and labor schedules, and remaining 3 schedules such as this material schedules, equipment schedules and expenditure schedules in the upcoming classes. So till now, if you are having any doubts or any clarifications, you can ask the questions. Yes, please. Anyone? Voice is breaking. So now I saw your message. Might be it is because of the network issues. So if you have not understood any part of, you can just ask me, I can explain it again. Shreyas and Nisar Ahmad. Which part you have missed? Can you please? For everyone, it's the same thing. My voice was breaking.
Yes, sir.
Might be it is because of the network issues. We'll see. If you are not understood anything, you can put me a message, or even you can put that message in the chat box. The same thing we can be continued in the further class. Okay, you can just put your attendance in the chat box, or if you are having any doubts also, you can place the same thing, or we can rediscuss those things in the next class. Abhishek, Shakir, Sagar. Just put your attendance. Later we can disconnect the call. Sagar and Vishwanath Madwar. Shakir Hussain.